When did humans start making music? It's late. The sun went down hours ago. A small group of people sits in a circle around a fire, the only light for miles. Outside that little ring of warmth, the world is pitch black and full of things that want to eat them. But inside the circle, someone is tapping out a rhythm on a hollow log. Someone else is humming along. A child is already asleep against their mother, lulled by the sound. This is happening 40,000 years ago, and honestly, it looks almost exactly like a group of friends around a campfire tonight. Because here's something strange and beautiful about being human. We have always made music. Every single culture ever discovered, on every continent, in every era, made music. There has never been a human society without it. Not one. And that raises a genuinely fascinating question. When did this start? Who was the first person to make a sound just because it felt good? And why do we do it at all? Let's go back to the fire. For most of human history, the night was the enemy. When the sun set, predators came out, the temperature dropped, and you couldn't see a thing. So for hundreds of thousands of years, the rule after dark was simple. Find shelter, stay quiet, survive until morning. Then we tamed fire, and everything changed. Suddenly there was a safe, warm, glowing circle where nothing could sneak up on you. And for the first time, humans had something they'd basically never had before. Free time after dark, hours with nothing urgent to do, sitting together, wide awake, staring into the flames. And what do humans do when they're sitting around with time to kill? They make noise, they talk, they tell stories. And at some point, somebody started making noise that wasn't talking. A rhythm, a hum, a song. Music was probably born in those firelit hours. The problem is the very first music left absolutely no trace. Think about it. The oldest instrument of all isn't an object. It's your own body, the human voice. Singing leaves no fossils, neither does clapping your hands, slapping your thighs, stomping your feet, or banging two sticks together. For all we know, humans were singing hundreds of thousands of years before anyone carved a single instrument. And we will simply never find the evidence, because you can't dig up a song. So archaeologists are stuck looking for the first music we can actually hold. And that's where it gets amazing. In a cave called Hohlefels in Germany, archaeologists found something that stops you in your tracks. A flute, an actual recognizable flute, carved from the hollow wing bone of a vulture with carefully drilled finger holes. And it is around 40,000 years old. Let that sink in. 40,000 years ago, someone sat down, took the wing bone of a giant bird, and very deliberately shaped it into an instrument. They knew where to put the holes. They understood on some level how sound works. This wasn't a lucky accident. This was technology, designed to make music, and in the same region, they found another one carved from mammoth ivory, which is even more impressive because ivory is curved and solid. To make that flute, someone had to split the tusk lengthwise, hollow out both halves, carve the holes, and then glue it back together airtight. That is a stunning amount of skill and patience, spent on something with no survival value whatsoever. You can't eat a flute. You can't hunt with it. Somebody did all that work purely so the night would sound a little more beautiful. Now, things get even older and more controversial in a cave in Slovenia called Divje Babe. There, researchers found a piece of a young bear's thigh bone with holes in it, and it might be as much as 60,000 years old. If it really is a flute, it would be older than our species being in Europe at all. It would be a Neanderthal flute. But here's the catch, and it's a good one. A lot of scientists think those holes weren't made by a musician at all. They think they were made by the teeth of a hyena crunching the bone for marrow. So the world's oldest possible instrument might just be leftover. The debate is still going. Either way, it's a great reminder that the past doesn't give up its secrets easily. But instruments are only half the story. Sometimes the cave itself was the instrument. In some painted caves, researchers noticed something curious. The most spectacular paintings aren't spread randomly. They cluster in the spots where the cave sounds best, the places with the richest echo, the deepest resonance, the spots where a single sung note blooms into something huge and otherworldly. In other words, our ancestors found the best-sounding rooms in the cave and decorated them. They were holding concerts in the dark, tens of thousands of years ago, in the only echo chamber they had. Some caves even have stalactites, those long stone columns that are worn down from being struck like a xylophone. Hit them, and they ring with deep musical tones. We call them lithophones, rock instruments, and people were playing them in the Stone Age. And before any flute, there was almost certainly the drum. Not a real drum with a stretched skin necessarily, just the simplest thing in the world, a hollow log, a stretched piece of hide, two rocks, your own hands on your own chest. Rhythm is the most basic music there is, and it might be the oldest, because rhythm is already inside you before you're born. Your mother's heartbeat is the first sound you ever hear, a steady, soft, endless beat in the dark for 9 months. Some researchers think that's exactly why a slow, steady rhythm calms us so deeply. It's the first thing we ever knew. We were drummers before we were anything else. Picture a group keeping a beat together by the fire, clapping, stomping, slapping a log. It's hypnotic. It pulls everyone into the same pulse. And once a whole group is locked into one rhythm, something almost magical happens, which we'll come back to in a second. There's also a good chance music was woven right into daily work. Pounding grain, scraping a hide, paddling, marching, digging, all of it is repetitive, boring, and exhausting. And humans, to this day, instinctively do one thing to survive repetitive work. We sing. Work songs exist in basically every culture on Earth because a rhythm makes the labor lighter and keeps everyone moving in time. The people grinding seeds and chipping stone tens of thousands of years ago were very likely humming and chanting while they did it, turning a miserable chore into something almost bearable. So we know they did it. The deeper question is why? Why did music exist at all? It doesn't gather food, it doesn't build shelter, it doesn't fight off a predator. From a cold survival standpoint, music is completely useless. So why is every human culture on Earth absolutely soaked in it? The answer seems to be that music does something sneaky and powerful. It glues people together. Try a quick thought experiment. Picture 100 strangers in a room, all talking. It's chaos, just noise. Now picture those same 100 people all singing the same song together. Suddenly they're a single unit, breathing together, moving together, feeling the same thing at the same time. Music synchronizes people. It takes a crowd of separate individuals and for a few minutes turns them into one. For a small Stone Age band whose survival depended completely on cooperation, that was rocket fuel. A group that sang and drummed together, trusted each other more, worked together better, and felt like one family, and a tight, bonded group simply outlasted a group of squabbling individuals. Music may have been one of the secret ingredients that made humans such an unstoppable team. There's another piece too, and Charles Darwin himself guessed it. He thought music might have started partly as a way to attract a mate, the same way birdsong does. The person who could sing beautifully or drum with rhythm was showing off something attractive, good coordination, a sharp memory, creativity. A brain that worked well. To this day, she plays guitar and he's in a band are not exactly turn-offs. That instinct might be 40,000 years old. And then there's the gentlest use of all, lullabies. Across every culture on the planet, parents sing to their babies and the songs are weirdly similar everywhere. Slow, soft, repetitive. A tired mother 40,000 years ago humming to calm a crying infant in the dark was doing the exact same thing parents do tonight. That soft sound, saying you are safe, I am here, go to sleep, might be one of the oldest songs there is. So picture that fire again. The hollow log, keeping rhythm. The bone flute carved with so much love. A voice rising up into the dark and the whole group falling into it together. The kids drifting off, the fear of the night softening just a little because you are not alone and the sound says so. That is what music was for. Not survival, exactly. Something better. It was the thing that made the long, cold, dangerous nights feel bearable. It was the sound of people choosing to be together. We've been doing it for at least 40,000 years. Probably far, far longer. And tonight, somewhere, someone is humming to a baby or tapping a rhythm on a table or singing in the dark with people they love, running on the exact same ancient wiring. The instruments changed. The vulture bone became the guitar, became the piano, became the song playing in your headphones right now. But the reason never changed at all. We make music for the same reason we always did, so that even in the dark, we don't have to feel alone.